whoever was supposed to chair the session to come in. Let's begin. Let's start formally. So, a word of prayer. So maybe give a chance to somebody who was joining us online yesterday, but maybe is here with us. The pray for the day as we start the meeting. And now request to be all right up. So my ITT, and now we can delight to those that start. Can you still stand up again for a Felisa? Always. I know that always. This is not for everybody. Definitely that was not for Professor Agwata. You can have your seat. My one eye was looking at Professor Agwata. Why? Because for Felicia's case, they already had given up. And even some other young people, I was surprised. They came up very quickly. Yes. Anyway, it's understandable. Thank you. I wanted you to be alert to be in the meeting. Why are we a prophetic university? Somebody asked me that because it was mentioned yesterday, and that troubled you. The reason why we said it is for actually it's for to trouble you. So our expectation met. Can we proceed to other things? Okay. So you're still interested. It is said that this university was prophesied in the 1950s by a prophetess by the name Jerusha Kajua. I told Jerusha Kajua's family is the one that's living here next to that building, that tall building here. She was one of the Christians, but again Christians in this area. And it is told, there are people who know this story better than I, because for me I'm giving you what I was given, what I was told. But it's written, after that it is written in some, it's written in various places. So she prophesied that here at Tagani, there will be a mountain. They say that there will be a mountain here in Tagani. And the story goes that she prophesied that birds from all over the world will be patching here, top of that mountain, and they live happy. So that's why you have birds from Kakamega, Karizobio, you have a bird from the coast, is still around. And I'm hoping these birds will leave this place happy. Rather than saying that there will be a mountain here, which was interpreted to be now the university. You can see the shape of the mountain. In the 1950s, you can visualize this place was just a forest. Okay, the forest is just you kilometers from here. You go up this thing, then you turn right and you're right in the forest. So I would imagine this was part of the entire forest, was all covered. But she encouraged the locals here to embrace education. I read somewhere that she said that and here we are very proud because of that prophecy that came true. So I hope that have clarified clear there. Why we are the only, have you ever heard of any other university that was prophesied? Not in this world, yes. So we are the only, we are the only prophetic. Yes? No, we can go. Coming out as the main thing yesterday during our talks. Definitely it's going to come from the presenters because they are the ones who are the resource persons. Even for those who are online with us, and I believe we also have online viewers today, what came out asking, and I can appoint you. So kindly, can you arrange 2 points, because I can give you a mic without you thinking I'm giving you. So arrange those 2 points, but I will go with the one who is ready first, even without. What came out as a key thing, what was takeaway for you yesterday? Thank you, Rose. But Jen, Rose, Mike.
The mic person is
There's so many things that came out for me, but 2 were standing out. Depending where I stand as a psychologist, and an educator, I realize that there's a lot of need for scaling up, and of course scaling up both the learners and also the people who are giving this knowledge using the tools that are now in place. So like the educators need to be skilled. Capacity building is still lacking in this country, and of course capacity building along the whole hog, from data analysts, from those people who are creators, those people who are going to adopt it, and the people who are going to be users. So from all that whole hog, there is still need for doing something. Then the other thing that came out for me is that as much as we grapple with this AI thing, yes, we are embracing it, but policies guarding it are not really there, and therefore much efforts need to be placed in terms of how do we come out with the regulations, guidelines, and policies that regulate everything that we are going to talk about, from creation, from protection, from usage, and even from emerging legal issues that may come out of the use of GenAI.
Thank you, Rose. Two things. Did you say skill up or scale up? Skill, yes. Skills. Developing skills or enhancing skills. The other one was policy. Anybody else? Steve. Give Steve the mic.
Yeah, thank you for giving me this. What came into my mind were a few issues. Number one, AI is here with us. Therefore, we need to embrace it and make it part of what we do in our teaching and research.
Called mainstreaming. We mainstream it.
Yeah, we have to embrace it.
Thank you.
And the other thing that also came clear is an issue of affirmative action. We're in a society of very huge inequalities, access to these devices, knowledge, asymmetry, and all these issues. Therefore, there's need for affirmative action when policy comes into place. And lastly, I will comment on what Professor Wata said well, and Pio, they talked about the issue of oral examinations and presentations, so that you are able to ascertain that the information being delivered is indeed owned by the presenter. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So keep your 2 points, because I had told you to prepare them, so I know you are prepared. Or anybody else prepared different from what has been said? Yeah, quickly.
Without the microphone?
Yes.
Yeah, 2 keywords that AI is our frenemy. Not enemy, neither friends or frenemy. So
okay, frenemy, yes.
And then I foresaw the issue of what we call surveillance capitalism. All this data we are collecting, who is going to monetize them? So we need to have policies against surveillance capitalism.
Hey, strong terms. What did you call that? What capitalism? What do you say anyway? Anyway, we get it. Frenemy and that other one. You know, Aguru, Margaret.
I learned that AI cannot replace a teacher because it is being instructed. I also learned that you cannot use AI if you don't have knowledge of what you are looking for.
Thank you, Margaret. And I can tell you something. It was said by somebody, and I agree with him, that lecturers that are using generative AI, or generative AI, let me start from there. Generative AI is not going to replace any lecturer. It's not going to replace any human capital. Don't be cheated. But that human capital, those people, like the lecturers who use generative AI, will replace those who don't. Get it from me. We can, yes, we are replacing them. So, you should have clapped. Yeah, because that is the truth. Embrace this technology. Give to the lady behind you. Yeah.
Thank you. For me, as we looked into the policies and the guidelines, I was struggling with what we have, and someone who's in graduate school, one of the colleagues I was working with in the group said that Turnitin is obsolete and had reasons. And I also thought about the exam regulations that we have. And one of them is that I can tell you, like the last semester, a student was called using ChatGPT, and they went home for good. That's the policy where I'm coming from, and I'm thinking that we are using very old exam regulations and many other regulations. So my thought is, even as we are thinking about the integrating policies and the guidelines, we should also think about looking at what is there and the people who are not seated in this boardroom who have not even appreciated what AI is. And there's a lot of work to be done.
I would like to understand why that student went home. He was using ChatGPT in an exam room.
Yes, and
I am coming to something. I'm not even interested with so many other details, but I can tell you that student, you didn't pin him or her just because he used ChatGPT. I know the law that you used there. Bringing into the exam room unauthorized material.
yes.
That is the law that you used. And that's why we are in this conference here, to talk about policy, so that even the policy now that we have in the universities, we either say, even using ChatGPT should be added, or should be regularized in this and this manner. Because assuming he used generative AI without a gadget, I don't know how that is possible, but yes, would you have been a student now?
Maybe we didn't have got them.
There's university rules, because you know we are copycats. We have copied what were the old universities had. I'm sure your laws and ours are looking the same. I can only be able to pin that student because he brought that phone he used or that other gadget he used, not because there was a generative AI in it. Thank you, Edna.
Okay, in regards to bringing the device,
Yes.
nowadays you don't even have to bring the device. You can leave the device.
Correct. And that was alluding to hear it from her.
So that means the law won't be applicable.
Yes. Repeat. Kuna watu wajasikia. Repeat.
I'm saying the law that Kamweru is talking about, that that student was pinned out because of bringing unauthorized material into the exam room. But now with the ChatGPT, you don't even have to bring the device into the room.
Exactly.
You can come, copy through the ChatGPT or the generative AI tools with a device in a remote location.
Or what you need is a earpiece.
Yes.
Hidden somewhere in your clothes. Sometimes some of these devices, for example, there are those people who carry hearing aids. Do you check the capacity of that hearing aid? Have you ever been interrogated? What is that gadget doing to the student? And it can, even the glasses. Have you interrogated those glasses if they have reading lenses? So that's why we are here. We talk about it.
Two things. One is requisite infrastructure.
Yes.
That of course comes with specific departments that deal with these issues. But of serious concern is whether we will be having students who actually come to class and pay for the services they get in the light of this. Are we going to a situation where the students will not see need and value for coming to class in the light of the GenAI tools and everything else? That's number one. Then what does that mean in terms of the delivery of content as we know it? And the requirement that we, as the university policies, of course, that they have to attend 3/4 or 2/3 of the lectures, especially in terms of the socio-economic dynamics, in terms of payments. What would that mean? I think that is a conversation that needs to be upscaled to another level so that we know exactly what it is that we're doing. But then my worry is this. Whose agenda is this? Who is driving these GenAI tools? Who is driving it? Is it a foreign concept that is being pumped to us and we have embraced it without thinking?
Thank you. All those questions will be answered. They are your concerns. Allow me, because of the interest of time, and we have business for today, and we have time for answering and giving all those views that you're giving. Allow me now, permission from Professor Muraya, who was to chair the session, to proceed and invite the speaker so that we start. For those who have just entered, we said we have done a swap on the schedule. We are starting with Dr. Edna and her team. We envisage this session to be a session of 2 speakers. So Dr. Edna will come first. So I will not start again. He is the one who will usher in the next speaker. So in a continuous manner until we finish. So ladies and gentlemen, rise up as Dr. Edna on the stage as we greet her with a round of applause as she comes to the front. Thank you. Mpaka afike hapa. Karibu sana daktari. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you everyone. So today we'll be looking at some of the generative AI tools that we can leverage as educators and even as scholars. So most of these tools that I'm going to highlight are some of the tools that are free. And these tools, we can be able to experiment with them even today, because some of them are free. But if you want more services from these tools, then you have to pay. So this presentation will be done or will be demonstrated by me. I'm Dr. Edna Top. We will also incorporate some of the Gen Zs, because they are the ones who know more of these technologies. So we have Said Kimori, and we also have Tony Munene. So for the generative AI tools that we're going to look at, we look at some of the course and content generators. We look at quiz generators. We also look at research assistant and AI detection tools. Once you've used these AI assistants or even the course generators, can you be able to use or can you be able to detect that actually those text or those it could be a proposal, it could be articles have been written by AI tools. But now there is also another challenge, because the world knows that there are tools out there that can be able to detect that we've actually used AI tools. So what have they come up with? AI humanizers. So once you generate the content, you can humanize the content in a way that the detection tools cannot be able to detect that they actually use the AI. So what are these GenAI tools or generative AI tools? They are simply class of algorithms that can be able to generate new, unique outputs such as what? Text, images, music, based on what? Based on prompts. Yesterday, Dr. Giga talked about prompt engineering, which is actually an interesting thing, because what you're going to get from the text, from the images, are based on the input or simply the prompts. So these tools can be able to create new ideas, new product, innovative product, or even automate some tedious tasks, and even do prediction based on what you are writing. You could be writing an article, so you can use that to predict what will be the next text or the next thing that you're going to type. So there are popular tools like ChatGPT, which I believe most of us are using, or everyone here should be using, and Gemini. So the tools that I'm going to talk, or that we're going to talk about, we are not going to dwell so much on ChatGPT and Gemini, because these are the most common ones. But there are others apart from the two, which are most of us know about. But they work in a similar or the same way for some cases. So how can we be able to utilize these tools as educators? So as educators, we can be able to utilize these tools as virtual assistant. When you're not in the lecture room, do you just leave your students? If, let's say you are now in a workshop, your students are supposed to be taught. So have you left your students without some materials to read or the lecture to continue? So we can use that as virtual assistant. We can also use it to generate course content, course materials, and also questions or quizzes that your students can be able to, or you as a lecturer can help you to be able to generate questions for exam, or even students, they can be able to generate these questions and help them to be able to do the revision. It can also aid in terms of research, to be able to analyze large data that is available, identify different patterns, generate also some data set as we were taken through yesterday by Dr. Vigar. It can also help us to be able to draft learning objectives, course description, syllabus statements, or even course policies for whatever content that you want to come up with. For students, we can use generative AI to boost efficiency in the education task to help the students actually to be able to read, supplement their studies. I think the policy, or usually the, I don't know if it's a written policy, but we are expected to give probably 75% to students. What happens to the 25%? So the 25% can be gotten from these generative AI tools, and that is from the perspective of our student. It can also help in terms of brainstorming, generating ideas that can help in terms of critical thinking. It can also help to explain some subject further that students may not be able to understand. And that in the long run helps students to be able to achieve other objectives or the objectives of a particular course. So there are numerous resources. We are not going to look at all of them. We'll be able to look at a few of them. The others, you can be able to try them on your own. So we start by looking at some of the tools that can be used for content and course generation. One of the generator or course content generator that I found interesting is what is known as the mini course generator. You have the mini course generator. This is the link to the mini course generator, and it can be able to help you to create course content and create course outline, and even create the content. Once you create the course outline, you can go further and create the course outline based on whatever prompt that you've given. So I think we can go through this and see what kind of content it can be able to generate. You can as well follow, or you can do it also. I think you can search mini course generator. The disadvantage with this is you have to sign in, meaning you have to give your details. So your details are also collected during this time when you're using what? Okay, so this is a dashboard for the mini course. And so you can create your collection. You can create a mini course. So you can go to this plus sign, and you can create a mini course from scratch. You can create it from AI course generator. So we can start maybe from course AI generator, and then you follow some prompts that are there. So we're going to use the free version. I think for this one, perhaps we have to pay, so let's create it from scratch. So you can write anything, any topic, probably something that you teach. I can write something on support vector, machine. So of course the content will be given based on the prompts that you give. show you something that I created. I don't know why. So I created this from so these are the materials that I created from this. So it first gave me the outline. The prompt that I used is I wanted supervised learning. I wanted supervised learning. So it gave me an outline of supervised learning, and this is an area in which I teach. So I gave the prompt that I wanted supervised learning. So it gave me an outline. It gave me an outline of what supervised learning, the contents of supervised learning, and thereafter I actually told it that I want having given me the course outline or the outline of what I prompted. It gave me, I went further and told it to give me the content based on what? The outline that it has given me. But you can go further and edit that outline. If you want, you can prompt it further so that you are able to get the content that you want. And if I go through the content that I have here, these are content, for those who are able to read, these are content that are actually very relevant to this particular area. So meaning we can be able to use this to be able to help us generate content for our teaching, and that will make our work easier. But again, you cannot be able to generate such content if you don't know the content that you want. So another tool, which is also based on prompt, is a tool called Storytel. And this one is similar to ChatGTP, but with some free features, which would require you to pay if you're using something like a ChatGTP. So it's based on GTP 5 and Cloud 2. And others. So I think probably we can try to interact with this one. You can search Storytel or just say storytel.ai. So you can type anything. So we can type probably something on support vector machines. So this is something on my area. You can type anything from your area and see the kind of content that is going to give you. Then I'll click or I'll say send. So you can see it has generated for me the contents, which the content for support vector machine, which I can be able to use for teaching my class. So you can continue prompting until perhaps you get the desired results or the desired content that you want for your work. So that is Storytel. Others also exist. Cloud is also another popular generator or course and content generator, which is similar to the previous one. So you interact with this by starting with it. So we can try to see if it can give you similar results compared to what we saw previously. So you can also type something related to what you're doing or your area. So I'm going to continue and type support vector machine. Then I can tell it to generate for me the contents that I want. And you can see it's generating the contents. If you want more contents, then you have to continue prompting it, perhaps based on what it has generated for you. There is something interesting that I saw from other tools. based on the content that it has generated, it can go further and generate, if you tell it to, give you more information about that given topic that it has generated. So there is also the Copilot. This is another, I believe most of those who are using it's Microsoft product. So this is also something that you can be able to use, and you can be able to generate content and also images based on prompts. However, I think there's one challenge with this one because it only works, or probably it works with Edge or Microsoft Edge. We have also Perplexity, which is more like also used to generate content and can also be used to research. It can also be used as a research tools or as a research assistant, and you can be able to also type. You need to give it your prompt, and it will generate content based on the prompt that you've given to it. We also have Junior AI. It works in a similar manner to other tools that we've looked at previously. So you have to give a prompt, then based on the prompt that you've given it to, it's going to generate the contents. Then we have tools. This one is mostly used to generate images, again based on prompts, whatever content that we are going to give to it. So we can ask perhaps, it's called Pick Lumen, and we can prompt Pick Lumen to give us image of perhaps senior lecturers in a workshop conference. These are some of the images that are generated using that. So I'll tell it to create an image of senior lecturers in a workshop, and we can call this.
Can it create an image of Edna?
Yes, we can tell it to create an image of Edna, no problem. Yes. So we can call it, we can say,
create image of Dr. Edna making a presentation.
Yes, so I'll tell it create image of Edna. Let me put it Tibet so that it knows that it's an African woman, because I don't want Edna to be Mzungu. So, and you can specify the number of images that you want you want it to create for you. So I can specify maybe 4, and we are going to see various. Sorry? Okay. So then I tell it to generate. So it's going to take some time for it to be able to generate some images. But I think we can have a look at some of the images that I've generated based on different prompts. And there are quite some interesting images. This one, I told it to generate for me some images of students in a class. When I don't specify that I want African students, it's going to generate for me what? The Wazungus. These ones I specified that I want African students. That's why it generated for me. I told it, this one I told it to generate for me an African middle-aged woman. And these are the images that it generated for me. These are also some of the images based on prompts, and as you've seen from the presentation that I've done, these are some of the images that I've actually used. Yes, question?
Yeah, are those real images or just created images?
They are not real images. It's images that have been created based on the prompt that I've provided on that platform. So you can see, this is Edna. This is Edna. Does it look like me?
No, it looks like Lupita.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like you.
That's only African thing.
No, there is.
I think to some extent I can see myself here. Okay, the reason as to why you cannot see exactly Edna Tor here is because I don't think my image has been used anywhere to be able to train a model that is generating the exact images. Yes.
I want to ask a very interesting question. When you look at those images,
yes,
those outfits, I mean the clothes, is there an outfit close to something you have put in the past?
No.
No. Okay.
But I was just keen, yeah? Because it could be an image that has been used for training. It corresponds to the image of a real person.
Yes, definitely there was an image of a real person which was used to. There are images of real people which were actually used to train them, to train the model.
Get a picture of Philip.
So no, it has not been used. It basically, Chebet has helped to be able to identify that it's an African woman.
Now
yes.
The question is,
if I left out Chebet, probably it would have generated a different kind of image.
And then you do a water.
Sorry?
A water.
You can try it. You can try it from your end.
So okay. I was just saying that suppose it accidentally picks Philip's image.
Sorry?
It picks Philip's image.
Yes.
Because Philip's image had been used for training. Then Philip sees his image. Can that be a legal matter?
It cannot generate.
I've been asked to repeat the question.
Yes.
I was just saying that because it is basically picking images that have been used in the training, and those images correspond to the real people. So it accidentally picks, for example, Philip's image, and Philip's image used in my material without his authorization. Can that constitute a legal matter?
I don't think it can be. The algorithm itself basically learns to be able. It uses your image. It uses your image to be able to predict another image that looks like you, but not exactly you. So I don't think there will be a case in which it's going to predict an exact person.
My question is, sorry.
Just a minute. Now that you are in a training,
yes.
Why don't you just take a second example of Professor Gota and see the results?
Yes, and we see. I want to see.
What do you want to be doing? Okay.
Image of.
He has forgotten his face.
Me?
Yes.
Yes.
Your name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jonas.
As you search that one, I was asking,
yes.
Do we have somebody in this world that looks exactly like that one person there? Or that one is a generated photo completely that there is no such a person?
There is no such a person.
No, I've seen someone like that lady.
It cannot be the same. It cannot be the same.
Let's see me. Very careful.
So it's free. It's free. The only thing that I think you need to do is to be able to log in using your account, email account, or you can sign up and you're free to use. So it's taking some time to be able to generate images for that.
It is figuring out on how I look like.
Yes.
I just wanted to.
Yes.
Yeah, just wanted to add and say.
Yes.
That I think the reason as to why most probably we are expecting a real photo. I think the reason as to why we are expecting a real photo is because of sometimes as we teach like this, it would appear. I mean, the whole process might not be able to be apparent. But I tend to think that if we look at it in terms of equations, that there will be an output. It could be something like y is equal to ax plus some noise. So that x would be the inputs. So the input could be a photo of a real person, it could be Professor Agwata.
Yes.
But now there will be some transformation by something like a parameter A, and then some noise added to it. So even if we had a photo of Professor, and then we prompt, he will not be able to come up the way he is, because of the noise that there is and also some transformation.
Yes. So it's basically explained what happens behind the scenes. They are basically mathematical models and algorithms that work behind the scene. Yes. I mean, look at. Yes. So this one is Professor Agwata. Does he look anyway like Professor Agwata?
Nothing wrong with that.
Totally wrong.
No, but you see.
But to some extent, I think I can be able to see.
I think we are misconceiving because Dr. Agwata is not just the Fairfax we know here. There are many other Agwatas.
No.
It is possible that there is an Agwata that is resembling closer to this than the one we know.
Yes.
Okay, so you can try others. You can use your own prompt to be able to generate the image that you want. So the other one is vid. This is used for generating videos. So you can also prompt. AI based on text to generate for you video that you want. So it's called vid.io, and you can go to your browser, type vid.io. It's going to take you to this particular. I think we can also try this. We can tell vid.ai to generate for us video about Chuka University. I think somebody yesterday was talking about Chuka University not being visible by. We can try and see if actually this is true. So we can tell it to give us history of Chuka University and see if the prophetic details will be given to us based on that prompt. So it's going to take some time for it to be able to generate the video, and then we can see what information it's going to give us. So, yes, if you also have your machine, you can be able to generate video. All these, the ones that I'm demonstrating here, are free. I've not paid for any. They are free. But probably what you need to do is to sign up for it.
Can you play the video?
And of course, there is a challenge with that. Somebody talked about it's going to collect some of the information, including your own details. So probably some of those images that are used to generate other images of African people, the content are generated from the email. In your email, you have images there, right? Yes. So those images will be used in some way to be able to generate other contents. Yes?
Can you play the video, please?
Okay.
Now, Edna,
yes.
we were not asked for permission
yes.
to have our images taken yesterday.
By
By the photographer.
You find it in AI.
What? No, I'm just following up on what you have said.
Yes.
Permission was not sought from us, whether we would want to have our images.
So I think that's a legal matter that Professor Kamweru can be able to answer you.
I'll hand over water.
Yes.
Because they will find themselves on some sites.
Do you have some?
You're muted.
I didn't get to the question the other day.
It's taking us.
Sound?
You can use the mic. You can use the mic.
Yeah, my mic is on. My speaker. Oh.
That's a building in I think
Okay, you can export the video and play it as a video. I don't know if I download it, it's going to take some time. So you can download it actually.
As a small college, aiming to provide quality education to the local community. Over the years, it has blossomed into a full-fledged university, known for its diverse programs and commitment to excellence. The campus is vibrant, filled with students from all walks of life, fostering a culture of innovation and collaboration. Notably, Chuka University emphasizes research and community service, empowering students to make a real impact. Today, it stands as a beacon of opportunity, shaping future leaders in Kenya and beyond.
I'm sure there's something that you've seen here in that video, and you've also seen some similar images from the video, right? For those who are in your end, you've seen something on your end, but you can see the images that are here are more biased, right? So we expect to see African images in the video. Did we see the African images in the video? So you have to prompt it further to generate for you what? African images. So these are things that we also try out. So for those of us who are in the field of computers, and not only field of computer science, I think all of us are coders. If you're generating, if you're doing any research, you must have coded somewhere. So again, you don't have to struggle with generative AI. You can be able to use tools that are already there to help you generate codes. And for students, this is something that can also be very helpful for those who are learning coding. So there is what is known as ZZ code AI. So you can use that to be able to generate code. And for those who are learning, you can type actually a question for us, when we want to test whether a student has understood a question, we normally has understood the concepts of programming. We normally give them questions and we let them code. But now you can take that question and put it on what? On the prompt, and it will generate for you the what? The program itself. I'm actually doing some research on using machine learning for detecting tuberculosis. And I actually prompted, I think it's black box, to generate for me the code for that I can use to be able to train my model. And it actually gave me the what? The code that I can use to be able to generate the model. So for those who are in computer science, for those who want to learn coding, you don't have to struggle. And now you don't even have to do what? To know how to code. The most important thing is to know the what? The prompt. Yes? Somebody has a question. So you can also use black box. Is also another tool. And there are many other tools, including the ones that are popular. Jupyter, which is hosted on the Google Colab. It can actually help you to be able to predict the kind of code that you're going to write. So you don't even have to struggle to think on the kind of code that you can be able to write. Yes?
I was almost converted, but as an IT person, very, very considered opinion, very, very considered. Your real opinion about this. I know today, even with in the basic levels of education, for example, in Kenya, we are moving towards even allowing learners to start coding in the name of developing digital literacy skills. And some organizations and foundations are really investing in it. Now, of course, because of the results, we know when they learn these basic skills, there's much more in terms of their opening of the cognitive levels. The persistence, the concentration, all these things. So there are much more things we want in our children, even beyond just coding. Now you are even telling me that even now the coding, we don't need to code. That means we will be waiting for people to do this, and we just get into the platform and even get how to code. Meaning we will be left with nothing to even train our children. And we will be waiting for somebody to do it for us. Somebody is at the background there doing those programs. So as we are waiting, how does this present to the future of our children?
So, when you talk of somebody behind the scenes, it means that somebody is a computer scientist somewhere who has been able to develop that algorithm that is going to generate the content for you.
And that's precisely where my problem is.
That's where our problem is.
Somebody is doing these things and they're being brought to us so that we appear like zombies. We don't understand anything, we just prompt and the things are generated.
Very good. You've given us a very good point there. Who are we?
Zombies.
No. Who are we? These are not the generative AI. Most of us here are in education, right? So, apart from teaching, what are we expected to do? Yes. So it means you who is seated there, you failed as a researcher because you're not part of what? The people who are contributing to the content or the algorithms that are being generated.
And that's where the problem is.
Yes. Yes.
If I need to use the algorithm, then I don't need the genetics. Because instead of thinking in a genetic way, I use your algorithm and generate everything.
That is where the
So
problem
it means that I'm useless and become a zombie.
Yeah.
Because I will be boring you as it goes strong in the field.
Sorry?
I'm doing my research.
Yes.
I'm in genetics, I do my research.
Yes.
We require these algorithms.
Yes.
And we're also thinking, anyway, when you're doing them, we do the simple one we have. Now you are telling me, I just come, I don't do them, I don't generate them, I pick your algorithms, and I just become a zombie. Because I don't need to do anything, I can generate from yours and I simulate.
I think I have the mic for now. Dr. Edwards, I want to make a general comment. The train has already left the station.
Yes.
Now the question is, do we catch up or we keep on complaining, Professor Agwata? So what we need, there's someone who asked about improving our skills. The fact that the professor here is a genetist, and when he was doing his genetics, there was no AI. So he has to upgrade his skills and capacity to an extent to be able to use AI, and that's what we are doing right now. Yeah? Because most of this information you didn't know by today, so you are knowing it today. Now, do you go back and still remain the same, or do you go back and improve your skills to be able to live to the world that we are living in? Because the train has already left the station. So you choose either to board it or you complain. That's what I would say.
Okay, let's hear
Professor, I have not gotten the question. The question is not about leaving. You are told me I don't need even to work. Because I need only to stay in the computer and I generate what you have. I query. So why would I go the field?
Let's hear what Professor Mutua has to say.
Thank you very much, Dr. and the team for very insightful questions. But we must be very careful when we talk of this certification. Because I don't know his field, but from the conversation, I think he's a geneticist. And I would just want to challenge everybody who is here is not a computer scientist. To do a very simple task, you've been given the tools. I just ask you to generate code using AI that is going to be able to load a file and visualize it and actualize that. You've been given the tools. Just do that. Because you know them and you want to believe that it's zombification. The bottom line is you will know the tools. But if you do not know the logic behind integrating those things that you are generating, you cannot be able to use it. But the point is, these are enablers. They are making life easier. The years we would take in generating that code, I can be able to generate it in a day. But I tell you this, if I'm not a geneticist, and I decide to become one just because we're having this, it's impossible. It can't work.
Can I allow me to start?
Yes.
I don't want to appear like I'm complaining.
No, I am not complaining. What my position is this. These tools are making us here, of course, in context, very lazy. I am with my sister here, who has generated everything in our code. Everything, without any effort. She has not gone to any textbook, everything is here. Do you know what that means?
What
everything.
What is effort?
There is no effort. It's just prompted. It's just prompted. Somebody did it. Somebody did it somewhere, and all the content is here. Our work is just to prompt, and everything is there. So, what does that make of us? Because we need to think.
When you're generating content from a book, what are you doing?
But are you getting my point? I'm not complaining. No, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I am only wondering that somebody has made life so easy that we are not going to put as much effort as we would in terms of understanding. Oh, you see?
Okay, let me finish.
Just allow me to make this comment.
Okay.
Now that my brother's student, well, I think basically this could be the reason why we are in this workshop, to understand the limits of deploying AI and when are we not deploying AI. And I think from my understanding now, we still have to retain the first principles, and only use AI to enhance our efficiency way forward, and that should be captured in policy somewhere. I would have a problem if a computer scientist teaching computer science students tell them to go and get the codes from AI. I would expect a computer science to teach those kids how to code so that they understand what is being done in the background. Yeah. So I think we need to come out clean on that. But as a physicist like me, I may not have some background in coding, but I want to use the code, then it might make sense to save time to use it. But I do some minimal coding, and I find it quite engaging intellectually to do it myself sometimes.
Thank you. So that's a conversation that we need to have, and I believe we are in the right direction. So allow me just to finish, and then we'll ask all these questions. Once we've all presented, okay.
Just 1 minute. I think the big question here is we have AI with us, but what is our role? Are we the users or are we the developers? With the content that is being generated here, we've seen that Chuka University, the information that we have there is from the University of Nairobi. So our role should be how can we develop our areas through AI? How can we bring more data to this software so that it gives out true information about us? That's my point. Thank you.
So allow me to continue with my presentation so that I have limited time. So there are other tools which I'm not going to be able to experiment, but you can experiment with them on your own. We have what is known as quizzes, which can be able to help you generate questions. It can also help students to learn based on the content that you've given them once they upload a file. It could be a PDF file that has the notes. It can be able to help generate questions which they can be able to answer. We also have others. We have Revisely, which can be able to do the same thing. It can help students revise. It can help you as an educator to be able to generate questions which you can use in an exam or anywhere. Others or other question generator is Fillout, which you can also try it out. You can paste your notes and it can be able to generate for you the questions, the possible questions based on a given topic or based on the content that you provided to it. Another one is Opzams, which can also be used to generate questions. And one thing about this one is you can integrate it with your learning or e-learning system or your LMS for those who are using e-learning management system. So it can also be used for research assistant. So we have those that can be able to help you as a researcher. We are all scholars. So we have one called actually a scholar. So it can help you in finding research papers. It can help you in citation generation. It can help you in summarization. And it can also help you in recommending other articles or other materials based on the prompt that you actually provided to it. Another one is WriteSonic. So WriteSonic is also can be used as a research assistant. It can help you to be able to draft a research paper, an article, or even a blog. For those who are in writing blogs, content, and even outline creation or idea, paraphrasing, and rewriting. It can also be used in search engine optimization and also summarization. And you can try it out, some of these things. So another thing that I saw which is interesting is this, which you can go and try it out. I'm sure you are all scholars. Try to use Chat PDF, upload the paper that you've written there, and see it summarize your content for you. The paper that I'm sure you've written papers in different areas. Go and upload that, and it's actually free. This is a paper. This is my paper which was published, and I actually I think I was asking it based on the questions. Of course, it gives you some sample questions. So I asked it, how does fine-tuning improve? So it gives me some important information, which is generated from where? The paper. So you can try it out for your own area. this is also another one which is quite interesting. Although if you want, it can write a full paper for you. It can write a full paper for you. You just have to pay for you to be able to get the full paper, including the references. Yes. So this one is called the IVA. So we have another one called the RYTR, which can also do the same thing as the previous one. It can generate the whole paper, including the references.
That one that writes papers. Mimi nimefanya research in Madari or in Kakamega, Chamahoho. So does it present everything? I have to provide some little kind of information.
So I think that's where you come in as the human side of it. But it can also generate data for you. I think yesterday, I don't know if it's Dr. Liga or Dr. Mogo, it's actually demonstrated based on a prompt how he was able to generate some data from just one prompt. He did that yesterday. Okay, let's move on. We have the AI detection tools. So once you've used these AI tools to be able to generate the article for you, we now have detection tools that can be able to detect whether the content that you've generated is actually from AI. So I'm just going to pass through them. We have the copy links. We have the writer. You've taken most of my time.
We will share these slides with you. We will have all the slides with all that material.
So we have copy links. We have writer. You can actually see it can be able to give a percentage of how much the content is generated by AI. But the tools are actually getting cleverer and cleverer each and every day. Now you cannot be able to even detect. Actually, as you prompt it, it generates for you content that are in humanized form. Then you have, I think, this is the GPT-0 is also another detector. Others also have, I think somebody was talking about Turnitin being obsolete. You only need to update, you need to update it. And then you're going to have it being able to detect what? The AI, yes. Another challenge is we now have the AI humanizers. As much as we want to detect the articles that are being written by ChatGPT, they are also getting cleverer and cleverer each day. So they have tools that can be able to humanize the articles that you've generated or the text that you've generated. And these are also algorithms. So one that I saw interesting is what is known as Hambot. So you can paste your content and it can restructure it in such a way that somebody who is receiving abstract will not know that it's generated by what? AI. So other tools, these are other tools which you can be able to look at. So something that I didn't mention is that my area is on, I'm very much focused, I'm doing AI, and my area is very much focused on health and agriculture. So we've done something together with some team, including the people who are supposed to give us a small presentation on, this one is simply an AI-based system that can be able to detect whether somebody has tuberculosis or not, based on what? X-ray images. So this is something that we are still researching on, and we've built more like a software that can be able to detect that. And you can see it can be able to detect whether an image that's got tuberculosis, up to what percentage. So it's accurate. We've seen one which is accurate up to 99. It has given us cases which are 100% accurate. In some cases, of course, there are misclassification. So that means it's something that it's still going on. Can be able to give us a normal case and give us some percentage. So this is an area. So in images, and it can work in any area. So as much as I'm in computer science, I'm doing something on what? Health. I'm also not in images, in which field? Media. I'm not in media. So what does that mean?
Interdisciplinarity.
Yes, we need to collaborate for us to be able to also be known in the field, not only being users of what? AI tools. Thank you. I'll invite Tony Monene to give a demonstration on something he has before we give a chance to Professor Mutua. Thank you.
As the system is being connected,
yes.
Tell me about the students' English. How competent are they? And how would you say the future is in terms of creators of content in Kenya? Are we building in numbers, or we are now waiting for people to provide for us this information?
Okay, actually the two presenters, I don't know whether Saif will be able to present, are actually my students. So you can be able to see that they are competent. As much as we are teaching in the era of generative AI, they are actually competent. Tony, who is about to present here, he presented his thesis last year on a system that can be able to translate Kimeru to English and vice versa. So Saif there has also developed something that can be able to predict the economy of a country. So
good morning. My name is Tony Munene. I'm a tutorial fellow at Chuka University Computer Science. And once we're able to share screen properly, I'll be presenting the applications of generative AI in agriculture STEM education and a small demo. And I've been told we are big time sensitive, so I'll skip a bit. Dr. Ed has already explained what GenAI is. Perhaps what I can add on to there is regarding GenAI's application in Africa, where according to a recent statistics by the World Economic Forum, only 5% of the total amount of GenAI application globally is happening in Africa. So we are actually quite behind. The importance of it in agriculture STEM education includes it can prepare students for future careers in agriculture technology. It encourages innovation in agriculture practices. And I'll show you a small demonstration of personalized learning experience for students. Applications of GenAI in agriculture STEM education can include in areas like crop yield prediction, where students learn about data analysis, remote sensing, and predictive modeling. Remember, these are agriculture students learning about that. There's also soil health monitoring and the use of autonomous farm equipment. Let me skip to...
Kindly skip next.
Yeah, to existing applications, okay? Right now, there's an application called AI Plant Village app, okay? It's a joint venture developed by Penn State University, and it is utilized mostly in Western Kenya to educate farmers and students on various kinds of crop diseases. So instead of you, say for example in an agriculture lab, instead of you having to go and point out to a student and go like, this is wheat rust, or maybe this is banana rust. You go out of the field with a phone, install this app, take a picture of a banana leaf, and it's able to identify that banana rust stem, okay? Another example that is already being applied at University of Nairobi is this one called Farmer Chat Tool. Again, here is a sample of it where it asks you in Kiswahili, je, ninaweza kukusaidia aje? And if you have Telegram, you can actually search for it right now and install it if you have Telegram on your desktop. And from there you can give it symptoms of a cow. So you can imagine, for example, when you are teaching animal health sciences, you can have a student maybe ask a cow that has been having heat for 5 days. What does that mean? And it gives you an answer in that regard. Another one is a Chinese developed AI called Vidu. And what this does is it allows you to avoid going to the field. You can just simulate. You can simulate, here is an example, like we can say, simulate beans germination, and then it's for free, up to 48 credits. Then while we are waiting for it to generate, then we'll play it. Maybe I can finish the rest of it. So this can allow you to create interactive, personalized videos which you can use to educate agriculture students on specific areas that you may be teaching.
Kindly proceed. We are
doing
well on that.
Okay. Yeah, so there are technical challenges that we have already talked about. There are ethical considerations, such as people fearing AI. But the long-term vision we are hoping is that universities will be more willing to embrace GenAI in future education. So let's see if that video it's still creating. It will take just a few seconds.
Okay, we can have Saif, if Saif is doing something different. Saif, you are showing something different. We are not doing very well on time, and Professor Mutua is waiting. Something? Come forward. As we wait, it's creating something.
Yes, that's one of
Let him show that.
Yeah, I'm waiting for
so
it. As we wait.
You can see, like, for example, there, usually these are 4 to 8 second videos. You have to remember that the problem that is usually there with GenAI is that they are very computationally intensive. So, like right now, this video is the most powerful one in the world. It's replaced Sora of ChatGPT, but it can only do videos of up to 4 seconds. Okay? But if you want, it's only that we're out of time, we can actually go extending it in the form of small clips. You say germination stage 1, 4 seconds, germination stage 2, 4 seconds, like that, then you integrate the videos. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, you can grab for. Like you have a concern?
No, what I'm saying is whatever he has just said, you know, the integration of the videos,
yes,
very useful in teaching.
Exactly. So, Saif, sorry, because of time.
Prof, thank you. I thank you all. Good morning. Now that I've been told there is short of time, Prof, and I had quite a lot, but I will just summarize. I know I'm a person of stories, but just allow me to say this, Prof, that I am always grateful, first of all, to God and to my supervisors. I know I'm standing the shoulders of giants. There's Dr. Moses, Dr. Bugo, Professor Mutua, and my supervisor, Dr. Edna. But somehow I always find myself in the shoulder of giants, even though I'm not in the program. And I don't have a PhD yet. So pray for me.
We are praying.
So thank you so much. I will be quick because I've been told my time is very small. And I'm a man of a lot of stories. So I just wanted to show something very, very small on this generative AI that people have been talking about, ChatGPT. So this one, I think now that I am both the ICT support today and a presenter. So there's just one thing I wanted to show you, my esteemed good professors and those, that here there's a new feature right next here. It's called Explore GPT. When you go to your ChatGPT, it's called Explore GPT. So you know, don't say that we are Gen Z. I know I'm very close to Gen Z. I am almost there. Lakini nimevuka na mwaka moja mbili, so I thank God. So I'm just somewhere there. So we like to work smart. And my good professor Muraya said that we probably, you know, he's also my research mentor, that we might be zombification. It's not a zombification program, it is trying to make you work smarter. So when you click Explore GPT, you will see a number of GPTs, we call them GPTs. You see, for example, Sciencebase, favorite for Dr. Moses, is somewhere there. Yes, he has also mentored me somewhere else. I thank God, like I said, I'm standing in the shoulders of giants. And you can see there's another favorite of mine called Scholar GPT. When you click on it, you can be able to interact, chat with these LLMs. LLMs, they are called the large language models. They are the ones that enable us to do all this. So there are a number. There is also some of them that Dr. Edna has demonstrated here. You can just come to your ChatGPT, click on Explore GPT, and you will be able to for example, let me just very quickly click on something small. I will say I click on Sciencebase, and it is going to tell me to just start here. Yeah, so there I am. So what I'll do, I'll just start typing. Write something like Dr. Moses was saying. Write something about your topic, and it is going to enable you to. It looks exactly like ChatGPT. I know majority of us have used ChatGPT. So this is what I wanted to demonstrate, because I had a lot, but because I've been told one of my seniors in the field, Professor Mutua, is coming up. I'd like to finish by something very, very small. That I'm just answering one question that has been in the room. That I've heard you saying that this is going to create a problem, especially my good prof there. We are working smart. I want to give these stories, but it's a personal story. So me and the previous speaker, we just left the stage. Told you go back a long time. So you are just joining campus, and we were in the same class. So it happened, we were discussing, and he had a very good idea. He asked, what if you could sit somewhere, tell a computer, create for me a website, and then it does it. And we had a heated argument for like a week. But because I'm a very good orator and convincer, will bring me to a debate, I think I beat him that day, and we dropped that topic. I think he can remember very well. And a few years down the line, comes what? OpenAI. charge exactly what Tony was telling me. I beat him in an argument. I'm calling it an argument because it was not a discussion. And now we know better. Now we have another discussion. We will have built our own, exactly, and we did it. And Tony was the originator of that one. I hope not just here. I'm saying among us. And now we have another argument. No, this one now is not an argument. It is a discussion because now we are more informed. Now the discussion that we are having is within the room. We are discussing: will this AI replace different professions? At least I thank God, now we don't have very divergent views. We are almost somewhere. So I'm not going to say my verdict or Tony's verdict, but what I can generally say, from now, the only thing that we at least agree on is that it cannot. At least they are up to there, we are okay. So I just want to tell you that these are enablers, they are not our replacement. And I think my good professor is going to come. Is also my mentor somewhere else. I thank God I'm in the shoulder of giants. I know I'm not the one.
You assist your professor.
Then you will tell them, are you the one with this one? Yes. Then I'll wait. Let me tell you, that's what you that's what there is one. He did not even know the law. So he was asking. Are you the one who did this? Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks, Prof, and the organizing team. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning once again. I am Professor Makau Mutua, but I'm not having any association to the Makau Mutua, you know. That is just a coincidence. So there is no politics around. Just relax. I'm an associate professor in data science from Mary University of Science and Technology, and I'm very much humbled to be part of this workshop. However, I had one problem. You know, when you come in as the last speaker, there are so many conditions that you must follow. And now I can see you are boiling with information hemorrhage. You've learned so much that you don't know what to use and what not to use. As at now, approximately how many tools have you learned as from yesterday? Don't tell me many. Give me a number. 16. If you tell me 16, you name them, all of them. Yes. And I'm not saying that you have some reservation on the number that you learned. 16? 19? And another person is saying 0, which is acceptable. And now I'm coming in to give you no tool in that case, and that's why I've come in last, so that at least I can be able to tie up that knowledge that we've been learning as from yesterday to this morning. And with my co-presenter, Ed Nato there, there are so many tools that you ought to have gone through, but time is not on our side, and we need to, in a way, try to fix and get back to the program, because at the end of it all, most of us will be leaving. I'll be presenting something on frontiers of generative AI in STEM. And here STEM is so much allied to education. I'm a technologist personally, so educationists and psychologists, Dr. Rose and the rest, you'll forgive me, but I'll try my best to be within. The danger with this is that I'm handling a topic that is not crystal clear, because I cannot be able to tell exactly where the future of AI is heading to, and specifically in STEM. But I stand on the bridge of where we are, and perhaps where we are heading. And when Saif was talking here, he mentioned that his friend Tony had a dream, but they let it slide. And that happens so many times in our lives. Something that you're thinking of, somebody somewhere is also thinking of it across the globe, but you don't know each other. And that's why sometimes you publish papers, and they're almost coming out at the same time, all leading to the same thing. And the similarity of the concept is more or less the same, but ideally, the research points are totally different, very much acceptable. And as at this time, these cartoonists from Team Elliott, they were trying to figure out what is going to happen about artificial intelligence. And they're having a conversation that I've read that scientists are trying to make computers that think. And this good friend there answers, isn't that weird? If computers can think, what will people be better at than machines? The same question that my good friend Professor Agwata is still having. We are making people lazy. These machines are taking over people, and it has been a long journey all the way from the 1950s to where we are, to be able to realize the power of AI. But of course, as we shall see, they think that is a very rational behavior of human beings. And perhaps we shall be having some psychotic computers. I don't know whether that is true or not. Yesterday, Dr. Mugo and Dr. Riga took you through, very briefly, on the history of artificial intelligence. But I will not want to deal with the details there. But I like this quadrant because I want us to ask ourselves a very fundamental question. Because from the onset of artificial intelligence, the aim of us, and when we look at computers and ourselves, the key thing is human beings reason, and human beings act. But then in your actions and in your reasoning, then we ask ourselves, are you rational or irrational? And so, this is the whole area about computing. First of all, can we be able to make systems that think like human beings? Are we there? Are we made systems that can think like humans? Yes. Are you sure? Let's ask ourselves, are we having systems that can think?
No.
No. They're not thinking.
Yes. No, they are not thinking.
They are not thinking. They are programmed.
What is your definition?
Okay. Dr. Ross, I'll answer that in camera. Okay, fine. Let us leave all that. I know we're having a split vote. But ask yourself that question. Are we really having systems that can think?
No.
Yes. It's yes, no, I can hear. You reserve your answer. That's why we get into that deliberations and that discussion. Eh? Now, are we having systems that can think rationally if they are thinking?
No. You are put rationally.
They're not thinking rationally.
They are not thinking.
Thinking rationally, thinking rationally. You can use GenAI and try to ask it what is thinking rationally and thinking irrationally. At least now at that point, Professor, whether we start appreciating why we do this. Okay, thank you. Now let us go to the third quadrant, where we are saying human beings act. We walk. What I'm doing, I'm talking. That is acting. Professor Muma here this morning was harassing us. And the greatest victim was the person who asked for that action, Professor Paul Kamweli, because he could not okota it down there. Now, can you be able, are we having systems that act humanly?
Yes.
Are we having systems that can act humanly?
Yes.
We in agreement?
Yes.
I can hear some no. Okay. There's a restaurant in Nairobi where it's called Robot Cafe. So you can go there and have some meal served by robots. Yes, there's a robot cafe in Nairobi. Now, can these systems again act rationally? Sometimes. Now, in these four quadrants, where is GenAI? Where is GenAI? We are having systems that can think humanly. We are having systems that can think rationally. We are having systems that can act humanly, or systems that can act rationally. Where is GenAI?
Bro,
yes.
I come from humanities.
Yes.
And humans are known to act most of the time. Actually, we are even acting where we are right now. We are not being, like authentically human. So if AI can act, then AI has human qualities.
It has human qualities. Human qualities, I mean.
Yeah, because I think we are all acting in a way. We want to keep a certain pace here. We want to appear decent. We want to appear learned.
Thank you very much, next That is the problem of scientists. We lack humanity. Because we so often interact with machines. But my question is, where is GenAI? We've been having generative artificial intelligence as at from yesterday. Where is it?
It's all over. Cats are brought.
Daktari, humanly? Both sides, It's in the first, second, and fourth. So we say first and third.
That for him, he's not looking at it from the reasoning as from our own definition of reasoning, but he's looking at it